A Peruvian father faces allegations that he doused his son with gasoline and set him on fire after learning that his 22-year-old son was gay and HIV positive.
You know, sometimes people say, "Oh, look, man, we've gotten past homophobia."
Yeah.
Now, look,
this
isn't in the U.S., and I know it's different, and Uganda has the laws where it could be punishable by death, just the act of being gay and or being in participating in a gay act.
Right.
But you see, I mean, worldwide, we're nowhere near getting rid of homophobia. That's your own son.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got kids, can you imagine? I literally can't imagine.
No.
I'm not sure there's a crime in the world my kids could do for me to do this, let alone they're gay and apparently his neighbor was ribbing him.
Yeah, and I think this guy was actually trying to defend his decision to do this by, he said that the reason why he did it, his name is Hitler, Baneo Núñez. He said he tried to burn the victim alive after becoming tired of his neighbor's jokes about his son's sexuality. So, you know, in one way, he actually might have thought he was doing everybody a favor.
Yeah,
doing his son a favor.
Yeah, that would be the most bizarre favor in the history of mankind. No, he's an incredibly bad guy.
Yeah.
But because think about what he's saying there in his crazy, perverted mind. He thinks me getting teased a little bit about my son is worse than me burning my son alive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the selfishness of that act, let alone the ignorance, the hatred, etc., is so overwhelming, it's hard to comprehend.
It doesn't add up.
Only a guy named Hitler might be able to pull something like that off.
I was going to make the same point.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, who named this guy Hitler? What is he, in his 40s, 50s?
He's almost 50.
Yeah, okay, classy parents, and shocking that he turned out this way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if it, you know, his name is Núñez, so he's the only Latino Hitler I've ever heard of.
It's Peruvian.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't say a happy ending, but I'd say the silver lining to the story is the neighbors helped save the boy. The young man ended up with his face, his arms, parts of his legs burned. But he says in a quote, and this was translated by the Huffington Post because it wasn't from me, "My dad wanted to kill me because of those illnesses, but my aunt took me out of my father's house and took me to Iquitos to put me in the institution called Algo Beo para Dios since March 1st. Unfortunately, my father doesn't accept me as I am."
Well, that seems clear.
And that seems like a pretty even-tempered kid, given what just happened to him.
I would want to take action against the guy who did that.
Against Hitler.
Yeah, in a little bit more severe way.
Yeah.
And so it's sometimes really disheartening to see the terrible injustices people suffer throughout the world. You know, at least the neighbors were there to help, and at least the aunt has pulled him out of that situation.
Yeah, and
you know, what might have been a clue to help him is that his dad's name was Hitler, and so, you know, my guess is this is not the first time. I mean, he didn't name himself, presumably, unless he changed his name to Hitler, and then you really should have gotten him out of the house.
Right.
But, you know, I'm guessing that a guy who did something this extreme, this was not the first warning sign. So help a brother out, man. Get him out of that situation before this happens.